So for the people that don't know what Profit First is, it's really about I'll call it moving money into different buckets based on how they're allocated. In whenever you're dealing, I'm very curious about this. Whenever you're dealing with a law firm owner, are you the one that's moving the money, or is your role more advisory, where you're saying this is how you should be doing it, and then the law firm owner moves the money around? How does that work?
So the law firm owner moves the money themselves. I don't want access to anybody's money. So the law firm owner moves it. We help develop the allocation percentages, and then we report back on how, we wanted X in this account this quarter, and here's how we ended up. So I really love the analogy of small plates when we're talking about the actual cash management piece of Profit First. So if we are, and they've done science and experiments on this, but if we are trying to reduce our weight, if we eat off of a smaller plate, we're going to eat less food than if we have a big plate. And I think the analogy works really well with Profit First is we're going to have a bunch of different plates of where that cash is going, and we're going to allocate it to all those different plates. And it's going to change our behavior, right? So if we do have a firm where we feel like our profit is not where we want it to be, then we have an operating account and we only put so much cash in the operating account. And we are not going to spend any more than what's in there, right? So it is a really great behavior management system. And there's just a lot of great things that come out of it. But my role is to help you determine what your goals are financially. We're going to help you create a budget that sets you up to have a profitable firm, and then we're going to help you determine how to allocate that money every time you do your allocations, and then we're going to report back to you on how that went.
So when you're talking about the smaller plates, am I reading the tea leaves correctly in thinking that to have the smaller plates, that means you probably need to have more accounts, or am I going too far with that?
Yeah. So, and I honestly, for me, this was probably the biggest because I read Profit First probably 4 or 5 years ago. And the foundation is you create these separate cash accounts, right? So it's cash management. We're going to move our cash into separate accounts. And as an accountant, I just thought, oh my gosh. So now all of our clients are going, instead of two accounts, we're going to have five or six. Like, this is not really what I want to be doing. But I eventually came around and I actually implemented it in two of my own businesses. And it really was a game changer, especially for one of my small businesses that my son owns together with me. Um, and, he's 17 and he was complaining. I was managing the money and he's like, Mom, why is there no money in my account? And I said, well, it's because you're spending it on all these things. So we implemented Profit First with him, and oh my gosh, he's constantly telling me now how much money's in all of his accounts and what's happening. And then we also implemented it in the accounting firm. So, um, and I mean, there's lots of great reasons, but having the separate account, knowing, okay, my money's coming into my main income account and I'm going to allocate it out to these four accounts or whatever I have based on my priorities, it just takes one more decision out of our lives, like just one less thing to think about. We know what we're doing, we know we're moving towards our goals, we can see that money start accumulating, and it feels like there's so much more control over what's happening with our money.
Yeah, I totally agree.